welcome to Professional Quotient, where we have conversations that build equity. I'm Jason Winningham, your host, and today we have a very special guest, Amy Chavez. Hi, Amy.
Hello, Jason.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Well, I am so pleased to have you on this call today. In the Professional Quotient podcast, we like to have conversations that really highlight what it's like to be in certain fields and industries, to get to know just a wide variety of different jobs, because for people like myself that started off in the professional world without having someone already in that network, it becomes very challenging to navigate and to learn your way around. And so, would you like to first just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Of course. So I am a graphic designer. I'm actually a marketing manager right now with Younger Partners. My background's graphic design. I started back in 1995, and I think my first graphic design job was with Grubb & Ellis, and that's where I really started my real estate, getting into the industry. So it's been quite the journey. I've worked for several other real estate companies throughout my career, and I'm currently with Younger Partners and, taking care of their marketing needs.
Let me ask you, how did you get into marketing? Was that something you wanted to do? Is it something you fell into?
I kind of fell into it. So back in my 20s, I was working for a Hispanic ad agency, and my brother-in-law just happened to be the creative director there. And I got to see, the magic that he did and what he worked. And that's kind of where I got the passion to want to get into that field. And it was pretty amazing. I loved what they did, and it really was inspiring. I remember telling one of my bosses at the time that's what I was going to end up doing.
Oh, that's awesome. And so you got a little taste of it, you went into it. What did it take to start doing that? Like, did you need a certain kind of certificate? What kind of knowledge did you need? How did you go about getting into that?
It?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a unique story. I was in the market for a job, and I saw that Grubb & Ellis had an opening for a graphic designer. I had no experience. I didn't know if I was going to get an interview, but I sent a very bold cover letter, and then that's what ended up getting, my foot in the door. And she told me once I was there that that's the only reason that she brought me in was due to my cover letter. So it was quite amazing. I fibbed a little bit on my resume to say that I had a little experience, but the way I always look at it is, once you get in there, and if you're a quick learner, you can certainly get in there and start doing what's needed.
Absolutely.
That's what I did.
I would be so curious to read your cover letter.
It was a good one.
I imagine so. So what does a typical day in the marketing world look like from your perspective?
So I right now I have a list of priority projects, right? And I've got maybe 20 sitting in my notes on my desktop. But I don't always get to them because I always have people coming in and telling me they need other projects done. So it's taking on the work that I have now and then having people come in and say, hey, I need this right now. That's kind of my day to day. It's juggling between what I have and then what comes to me on a day to day basis.
It sounds like you have high priority versus
Yes.
more high priority.
Yes. Just a lot of work, Jason.
Yeah.
I'm the only person who does marketing for Younger, so you can imagine what my day is like.
You're the sole person?
I am the sole person to a large office. Yep.
Wow. Oh,
when I say I have 20 projects, I've got 20 projects. Today was one of those. I had in my brain, I was like, okay, I'm going to get to this, this, and this. And then today it's like, I need all these floor plans. And then I have changes to this flyer, and we need this flyer redone. And I'm like, holy crap.
It just starts kind of building up.
Yeah. And thank God I keep notes on my computer. Otherwise, my brain's just going to forget about it.
Oh, so easy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have to have notes. And I do both calendar reminders for things, but
Mhm.
a lot of Post-it notes where it's like,
Yeah,
this is not going to go away until it's done, and then there's
right.
the satisfaction in crumpling it and like that one is done
Darn
finally.
it.
I don't want to look at it anymore.
I didn't even think about that. No, I have the electronic notes on my computer, so it's staring at me in my face all day long.
Well,
That's
that's
kind of how
right.
it goes.
So somebody in the marketing field needs to have a little bit of a thick skin when it comes to having a lot going on.
Absolutely, and you can't take a lot of criticism personally. You know, it's not you or the work that you're doing, right? It has nothing to do with you at all. There's sometimes things that people like or dislike, and you just kind of have to go with the flow. And you know, you're serving them, so you just got to make sure you get it done.
Now, that's a good piece of advice. Is that something that you had to learn personally because it was hard to take at first?
I don't ever remember taking it personally. I think I could separate what I knew I was capable of doing versus what someone's needs were or what they felt, you know, things should have looked like. So I don't ever remember taking it personally. I have seen it though.
Well, sure. When you're, especially within graphic design, you're creating something and it's art, and and art isn't always appreciated from one person to the next. We all see it differently, so that makes sense. But it also seems like if you're in that field, you do have to be really accustomed to somebody taking your art and saying, "Oh, can you change the whole color?" Or,
Right.
"Yeah, flip this upside down, and now I like it."
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, that is awesome. Well, professional quotient, the definition that we use on this podcast is really how much you're able to utilize your personal portfolio of professional equity, which is our skills, our knowledge, our education, our experience, and the community and network of people that we have built around us. And with that definition in mind, what would you say is some of the most valuable assets within your portfolio of that equity?
As me as a person, or things that I've learned, or um,
I would say from you looking inward, what would you say is I cherish this bit of my professional equity? And like this is what can help you if you want to move to something new or keep doing what you're doing but somewhere else or that kind of
sure.
an ability.
I think the most important thing that I've learned is to ignore the background noise, if you will. I think that's a skill set that everyone needs. You know, people are going to talk about you, and people are going to talk about other people, and you just need to stay focused on your work and be professional at all times. And I think that's a skill set that took me a long time to learn, but I'm there, and I can pretty much ignore the negativity that happens within an office setting, so I can carry that with me to my next one.
So avoiding or keeping yourself free from office politics, so to
Yes,
speak. Is that a good way to
gossip.
rephrase that? Mhm.
Yes, yeah,
Okay. And within that, if that sounds like it was something that you had to overcome.
yes, it was.
So what did you do to help yourself get there?
Overcome. I
Yeah,
just know I'm awesome, Jason. I don't need, you know, as long as you keep that in mind, you know.
very true.
It is difficult though when you're going through it, and it becomes very challenging because it kind of lives in your head.
Mm, mhm.
And you just got to get to a point where you know what you're good at, you know what you can do, and then you can bypass the things that other people are saying about you. So
So it's a little bit of being an internal cheerleader for yourself.
absolutely, yeah, you
Okay.
absolutely have to.
Mhm. Are there other things within your professional equity that you're really prizing as something that's valuable to have?
Being able to get along with various personalities, adjusting to how people's personalities are, you know, how to approach them, what to say, what not to say. I usually, when I start a new job, I give myself a good year to learn people. And yes, the people that I work with or the people that I interact with every day, and then, you know, maneuver around that, if you will, on a day to day basis.
Absolutely, absolutely. I will share with you that one of the things and just so our audience knows, I had the awesome opportunity to work with Amy Chavez many years ago now. And when I started at the same company that Amy was at, I was in the print room. And it was really through Amy's encouragement that I was able to learn graphic design or InDesign, the program for graphic design, and actually move out of the print room. So to me, at that time in my life, what was most valuable was the skill set, like learning something. And you were such an awesome teacher because I expressed an interest. I remember you saying even back then how stuff just comes in. And then I saw at the time there were two of you that were graphic designers, and I was hearing from both of you that what was really eating up your time was continual revisions. Somebody coming back and saying, "Oh, we're going to tweak the wording of this." And I remember thinking, I could do something like so I shared that like, "Hey, I could help you with those things. I may not be able to create something from scratch, but I could do that." And I think within an hour, you had the program downloaded onto my computer. You were giving me files and you were saying, just tear these apart, like look at it, I'll come back. And you step by step helped me understand how to navigate that program. And I'm so thankful for that because that was something that really helped me move. And it gave me confidence within the professional landscape to say, I can contribute more value than simply taking papers from a print machine and giving them to people. Which, it was a start, and I'm thankful that I had that start. And I'm thankful in that role that I had you because you were such a mentor and a teacher that I just very much appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. When someone wants to learn something new, I'm all for it. I will take the time to teach whomever, whatever, to advance themselves and to have that confidence and move further within the career. It's absolutely important.
Oh, absolutely. And it's such a wonderful gift to be able to help lead others once we've kind of learned our way, or at least it is to me. I feel almost like a little high from being able to say, "Oh, I can help you on that. I know how to do that."
That's always great.
Mhm. Are there activities that you do to continually keep yourself sharp, to stay at your edge?
Absolutely. So anytime there's new technology that comes out that has anything to do with my profession, I absolutely like to go out there and learn it. Like AI is new. I started using it when I first heard about it, and I started looking into it and seeing how people are using it, and so I use it daily, and it's been a great tool. It actually allows me to do my job and another job, and so it makes me more efficient. I really like it. But yeah, staying on top of what's new out there is
And how would you keep up with what's new? I mean, I know AI is everywhere, but like throughout the marketing world, are there professional groups you're following? Are there pages you're at? How do you do that?
no, not really. So I'm on Instagram quite often. And so things just run through my feed, and especially the things that have to do with my profession. So I'm always I it's almost like that's the first place you're going to see something new, and that's where I saw AI. And I get a lot of Photoshop tutorials on there as well. So it's amazing tool. I really enjoy it.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like you have to kind of start liking and following some of those things for the
Right.
algorithm to get
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
So if somebody wanted to get into marketing, they could start today by following marketing groups just to get knowledge and information.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And make friends with the people. If you know someone, make friends with somebody in the marketing department, or someone who's in that kind of role.
Hmm.
That really
And
helps.
so if somebody who's never done marketing and they would like to befriend somebody in marketing, what would be like a good way for them to go about asking for that?
I think just come straight out and ask it. I mean, if that's something you're really wanting to learn, just find that person and just say, "Hey, I'm interested in this," and see if they'll teach you and mentor you, and see how long, see where that can take you.
Absolutely. I feel like mentorship relationships are so valuable because not only can you give actual advice about like a system or a program, but you can give that lived example of hey, avoid office politics or
Right.
those kinds of things in those
Yeah,
conversations as
don't
well.
worry about what other people think of you. That's very
That's a
important.
challenging thing too because we spend so much time in the workplace that it's a lot like a schoolyard. And I mean, and when there is a lot of gossip going around, sure, that can get at people.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. It'll live in your head and you don't want it to live there.
mhm,
There are
yeah,
better things to worry about.
absolutely. Are there additional thoughts you would have for somebody that's thinking about marketing as a profession? Like, what advice would you give somebody entry level, or even somebody that's just career pivoting and thinking, I think I might like that?
Yeah. Download the programs, try them out, look at tutorials. YouTube has some great tutorials. I even go to YouTube sometimes when I want to learn something new in Photoshop or Illustrator, or, I just can't figure it out myself. It's just YouTube's the way to go if you want to learn something new. But definitely download those programs, start touching them, and, try to create some. I know Adobe has lots of tutorials out there where it allows you to download things and do a step by step. So, yeah, that would be a really great way to go.
Awesome, awesome. And one of the things I've asked each of our guests is there somebody that you would like to hear from in a PQ podcast? Somebody we should ask?
I thought about that all day and I came to the conclusion that Mindy Metz. Do you remember Mindy?
Of course, I remember Mindy.
Yeah. She's out in Denver and she's had, I think she would be great. I'd love to hear from her.
I agree. And it's funny that you should mention Mindy because at the beginning of this podcast, when you were talking about your first role and that bold cover letter, it resonated because that was actually how I landed that job in the print room under Mindy Metz, actually, because I reached out and I said, here's 20 reasons why you would be foolish not to hire me today.
See?
And she came in minutes later and was like, oh my goodness, that was great. You're hired.
Sometimes it's just taking the risk, throwing yourself out there and seeing where it'll take you.
I don't recall at the time knowing your cover letter story, but I imagine your energy and influence probably was rubbing off on me at that time.
There you go. That's a great story. I never knew that.
You did not? Oh my
No.
goodness. Yes, she came in like minutes later, was like, "Oh, this was great." And it was a turning point too because I was nervous to send that letter. I have a lot of different social anxieties, and that one was definitely one where it was like, "Oh no, like what if what if she says no?" And I remember thinking, "Well, if she says no, then I know that it's time to look for the next thing." And so I felt like I was kind of at the end of my time as temping there anyway, so that was what really lit the fire under my seat. But I but that was so funny because you mentioned that cover letter, and I was like, that's familiar. So yes, I'll definitely reach out to Mindy. That's awesome. Great thought. Well, is there anything that you would like to shine a spotlight on or just share with us in general? Anything that you're excited about, or this is your time, Amy?
Um, no, not really. I mean, technology is certainly going to head in a new direction with AI, and I think it's going to be interesting to see where that goes and how it's going to impact, the industries that we're all working in. So it's, I think it's going to be great. I know other people think maybe not, but I think AI is going to take us a long way.
Well, I've done some. Well, first of all, I love AI when it comes to like Chat GPT. I interface a lot there, and Gemini, the Google. I'm not too stuck on one or the other. I've also done some within Photoshop and saw just how nice it is to be able to take a whole square area and say do something, or fill in the gaps or turn the sky from ugly to blue, and just how quick and easy that's able to do. There's still a human component to it. It's not like we just I mean, you certainly wouldn't just say, draft a flyer for me and leave it at whatever it comes up with. There's a lot of there's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah. And you got to treat it like you're talking to somebody. It's kind of weird sometimes, but
It very
it's
much
like having a conversation with yourself.
absolutely, and saying, "Oh, wait, this isn't quite right."
Right. Yeah. Your own personal assistant.
Mhm. Now, do you use kind language to your AI, like please and thank you?
Absolutely. It's a must.
Absolutely. I feel like you get more out of the AI when you do that as well.
Well, sure. And plus, it'll carry out to, other things rather than your AI. So if you're kind to your AI, you're taking that with you in the real world.
Bingo. Yes. I did a post on LinkedIn recently that was about that because they were talking about the waste of people saying thank you and please to the AI and how yeah, it does all this extra computational energy drain. And I was thinking, but kindness always has a cost. It always costs us time to be kind, and it costs energy to devote to other people. And when we start excusing it as, well, that costs me something, I'm not going to do it, it takes away from us as humans.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's always great to say thank you and, you're welcome and all the pleasantries that we should do as human beings to one another. Do it to your AI too. It doesn't hurt. They like it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on this show.
Absolutely,
And
Jason.
more importantly, thank you for being a good guide and mentor to me in my professional development.
It was my pleasure.
Oh, I appreciate it so much.
Sure thing.
So if you've enjoyed this conversation, please like, share, and leave a positive review. And remember, just like our IQ and our EQ, we have a PQ. And this can always easily be risen every day. Just keep learning, building, and connecting. Until next time.